Here's Hostetler, chased out of the pocket. Chased by Burt. Pass is caught by Bavaro. Bavaro fighting for yardage. Johnny Jackson made the stop, a gain of 19, a great throw by Hostetler. Those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFC Championship game on CBS between the Giants and the 49ers, with the winner advancing to the Super Bowl number 25. I'm Pat Summerall along with John Madden. Our score is 13-12, the 49ers by a point. Again, 60 minutes will be seen immediately following the postgame show. 2 minutes left. 13-12. 49ers lead the Giants.
They're pretty hard, and that's a big play, especially if the Giants now go down and score. Let's go back to the game.
Hostetler, injured but back. This is O.J. Anderson, thrown for a loss by Kevin Fagan.
Joe Montana's up, Pat. We see him walking there in the sideline, but he is walking awfully gingerly.
Boy, is he.
But he doesn't look like he's going to walk to get to play. But I'll tell you, that was a big play, that last one by Kevin Fagan. The Giants were moving here. Kevin Fagan, maybe the most underrated player on this team, came up with a big play right there.
That play was out of sync from the beginning, as the motion man got tangled up in the play and Hostetler back to throw it. Scrambles right, throws right, caught and out of bounds. Inside the 30 by Stephen Baker. Darrell Pollard, the nearest 49er defender.
And Pollard is given too much cushion. Watch, he gets there, he's running stride by stride, but he keeps going. In fact, maybe Baker pushed him a little. Pollard was yelling that he was pushed on that play, and they were going side by side, and I was wondering where the cushion came from. Maybe little Stephen Baker pushed Darrell Pollard to cause the cushion.
3rd and 1. He came back a little too far. Timeout, Giants.
Well, they need the perfect play here, Pat, because if they kick it, it would be a 47-yard field goal. That's right in Matt Barr's range, but I think that they would love to get a first down, take some time off the clock here, too.
Those of us and those of you who might have just joined, to summarize what happened, San Francisco first a field goal to take a 3-0 lead, tied by the Giants. Barr from 28 yards away. Then the Giants went ahead 6-3 on a 42-yarder by Barr. 6-6. The 49ers again by Kofor. Then the touchdown from Montana to Taylor. 49ers went ahead 13-9, and then Barr again from 46 yards out. And then Barr again from 38 yards out to make it, as it is now, 13-12 with a minute and 10 seconds remaining. 3rd and short. They go left side, and Anderson lunges for the first down. Matt Millen and Ronnie Lott made the stop, but he got it.
You know, that's going to be a big first down, because not only does it give the Giants some more downs to get closer for Matt Barr to kick the field goal, gives them an opportunity also to score with a touchdown, but it also is going to take some time off the clock that the Giants could almost guarantee that the 49ers don't get the ball back.
And they take a timeout, the Giants. Anderson got the first down. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. This telecast intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the New York Giants, the 49ers, and the National Football League is prohibited. I'm sorry, it was not a timeout. And now the 49ers take a timeout. George Seifert very upset about something.
This is a 40-second timeout.
I think that after the Giants got the first down, they didn't want a timeout. Of course, they want the clock to run. And now once they have the timeout, now the 49ers have to take their timeout.
So they have only one left as a result.
Yeah, I would think the Giants want to save their one for the field goal. You want to be able to stop the clock to kick a field goal if you have to.
Rarely do you see George Seifert that upset.
There will be no charge timeout for either team.
And now he won his argument. No charge timeout for either team.
Yeah, I think that all had to do with the measurement. You know, was it a first down or not? And then they were taking time for the measurement, and they thought it was a timeout.
In the meantime, they sneak some seconds off the clock. Let's see if they rechange that now.
What the coaches are yelling there is bootleg. In other words, watch out for Hostetler faking to the backs going one way and him going the other way.
If they had to kick a field goal right now, it would be 45 yards for Matt Barr. Start that clock. First and 10 at the 49er 27 for the Giants. Hostetler takes a good look. Lot up showing blitz. The handoff is to Anderson. And O.J. to the 25. Stopped by Romanowski. He scrambled for 2 yards. The clock continues to run.
You know what I would do if I were the Giants? I'd take a shot at a pass. The 49er defense is just all up there on the line of scrimmage, Pat. And it just looks like if you're going to, you always have a shot that you can take the thing. But look at this 49er defense. They got all 11 guys right up here, and you could really sneak something deep here, I think. I mean, go a play pass and try and sneak someone deep. Take a shot at the touchdown. If you don't get it, you can always come back at the field goal, because the 49ers are just all up there to stop the run.
This is a Giant timeout. They have one left with 12 seconds left to play. The NFC Championship game with the emphasis on championship.
Well, there's the guy who got the fumble that started this drive, but the guy who caused the fumble was Eric Howard, the old nose tackle. You know, those old nose tackles don't get a heck of a lot of talk about, but Eric Howard, if the Giants go on and win here, Eric Howard made the biggest play of his life on that fumble.
And you're right, the Giants are going to run another play. And it's a quarterback sneak by Hostetler to try to get Barr just a little bit closer. A yard more, and now with 4 seconds left, the Giants call their last timeout. And it all goes on his shoulders. He hurt his neck last week making a tackle against the Bears, and there was doubt early in the week whether or not he'd be the kicker or not.
They don't even want to look.
It could be an eternity for Matt Barr if he should miss, and he'd never know he got on the airplane if he makes it. Timeout 49ers. Let him think about it a little bit.
Also lets the coach think about it. Lets the rest of the players. But you notice, Pat, how they always leave the kicker alone? The Giant offense is up there all by themselves on the line of scrimmage, and Matt Barr is about 5 yards back. No one ever gets. These guys are off on the sidelines. The team that is going to block for Barr is on the line of scrimmage, and Matt Barr is off by himself.
That is a lonely world, believe me.
In fact, he's inched up a little closer to him. He was about 10 yards away from him, and now he's kind of inched up where he wants some friends. But Matt Var's a veteran. You know, I mean, he's a guy, he wrote on a book for me one time. He signed a guest book, and he wrote journeyman kicker, 13-year veteran, so he's been in a lot of these situations.
He also wrote one time, I'm not just a kicker, I'm a player. And the kick is good. There will be no three-peat. The Giants win it 15-13.
Congratulations.
5 field goals by Matt Barr. They still couldn't conquer the red zone, but they beat the 49ers.
You know, and the hero, or one of the heroes, of course, we know is Matt Barr.
These yellow bands are for the troops over there.
And there's his reaction.
If he can force a reaction.
Well, remember last week he got injured. They didn't even know if he'd be eligible to play this week or be able to play this week. Here's the coach. Here's one happy, deserving coach. Here's a bunch who had an answer. And it all started with an old nose tackle, number 74, who forced a fumble.
So many, many big plays. Once again, the final score here in San Francisco. The Giants win it 15-13. You're watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League. Stay tuned for the NFL Today postgame show with the George Halas Trophy presentation.
Mick, you come to me as I'm almost knocked over by victorious Giants, streaming off the pitch in jubilation. They can't believe they've won it. Most of the crowd here can't believe they've won it. It's 95% red and white, and they're all dejected. But let me show you these fans over here. This is the small number of New York Giants fans who've made the long trip from east to west. They're jubilant. They're all trying to book tickets for Tampa Bay next week, where they will beat the Buffalo, or they will meet the Buffalo Bills, having beaten the 49ers and having cheated them out of the chance to three-peat. Back to you.
Thanks, Gary. That looks like a heck of a lot of fun. I can promise you, I haven't kicked to win a Super Bowl or go to a Super Bowl, but I've been in that situation, and I promise you, Matt Barr is feeling brilliant, as much from a relief as jubilation. I've also had fans sitting in that end zone where Gary pointed out, unfortunately, we never gave them much to cheer about. We're now going to commercial. When we come back, we'll talk about the game. We'll be going back to the locker rooms, and of course, we will also have the AFC Conference Championship game. So join us in a couple of minutes. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that game. That was definitely a brilliant football game. Now, Jerry, I've got to point out that when we weren't on air and we were watching the game, you were saying you don't like any kickers, you don't like this, you think kickers shouldn't be in the game. What do you think of kickers now?
Well, if I was really on the 49ers side, I still wouldn't like them.
You'd do what?
I still would not like the kickers.
Especially if you were Seafoot.
Right.
Well, right now, I mean, we talked about LT. We brought him up and we said he's going to make a big play. First off, he, boom, hits Montana, and that's a big sack. And then there's this, Charles.
Well, what happens here is the nose tackle sticks his head in there and knocks the ball out, and LT is right there to recover it for a big, huge play. You know, we didn't hear much about LT all game long. We mentioned him. He went out there and got forced Montana to pull up, and Leonard Marshall hits him for a sack and a caused fumble. Then we have another fumble there. John Madden alluded to the fact that there weren't any turnovers in the game, and the one that we got, or the one that happened, was a big turnover. Big
Jerry,
play.
we just mentioned the sack, and I'd like to see that again, but then also talk to us, what is it that makes a player great?
Really, I think what makes it's a total thing. You can't say one thing, not just talent. You know, we talked about he brings all the chemistry to the party. He's got the inner guts, he's got the soul, he's got the want to, and he's got all that ability. I think one thing that went on, notice there we were talking about, in order for now the Giants to go down and kick the field goal, they went to dash protection. Redskins invented it. Got away from all the rush, sprinted to the right all the time, blocked everybody down, and he made the big throws that set up the field goal.
What is dash protection?
Dash is the quarterback rolling away, getting out of the pocket, running away. It started a long time ago when you had Joe Theismann.
That's right.
And that's really, they went to Joe Theismann protection so the 49ers pass rush couldn't get to him. At the end, the last drive, only time they did it, changed the game.
We now have that footage that we were talking about, and that was the LT play. And I think it's, again, talking about LT, we were saying that he's got a salary of $2 million, and is he worth it? Does this make a player worth it?
Well, I tell you what, you know, you don't get a pass rush, you don't get to the passer like this without being relentless. He had to come all the way from the other side. Joe Montana scrambles out of the pocket, and he still gets to him. You know, he's a relentless player. He's the kind of player that you need to go to the Super Bowl, and he made the two big plays in this game to get him to the Super Bowl.
Well, other than bringing up LT, we also talked about something as the game got going, and that was special teams. And special teams had a big part of it. And, Joe, you love special teams.
I love special teams, but the man right next to me called it. We were sitting here, he says, this will be a fake
Exactly
punt.
right.
The ball will go somewhere else, and they'll take a chance. And they went to the fullback, number
Reasons.
55, and he went off and made the big play, which changed the game.
They are that kind of a ball club. They always have special plays up for any big game, and we've seen them happen to us time and time out. So I was able to call that because I realized that this was a must situation. They needed to go for it, and the 49ers are caught off guard because they don't pay that much attention to special teams. They don't do enough on special teams to hurt them, but they don't do enough on special teams to help them. They rely on their offense and defense. The Giants have a total package, offense, defense, and special teams.
Well, I've been saying all year that the 49ers were going to lose a game. Now, they've proved me wrong often, but do you think that eventually their lack of running game hurt them today? That's to you, Jerry.
I think the Giants took the clock, and I think more than that is the Giants took their quarterback and put him on the sideline. He had to watch the game. We talked about the 3 tight ends. We talked about, at one time, we looked up, they had 48 plays, and I think San Francisco had 24. I don't know where it ended up, but it's probably in that ratio.
Yeah, so it's now the New York Giants that are going to be going to the Super Bowl. We'll be talking more about that game and who they'll be playing, and we leave you with some jubilant fans that came all the way down from New York.